Welcome to Humans of Business, the podcast where we uncover the human side of successful businesses. Here we speak with business leaders about the human traits that fuel success and how embracing who we are can shape the way we do business. Every business starts with a human, so let's learn from real humans, one story at a time. My name is Yuri. I help people and brands shine through communities and personal connections. And my guest is Blanca Vergara, a transformational coach, speaker, and founder of The Ripple, who empowers women to move from self-doubt to confident, heart-centered leadership. So, welcome, Blanca.
Hi, thank you for having me. Delighted to be here.
Happy to talk to you. It took us some time, but here we are. The moment is ours. That's the main thing. And tell me one thing about you that I can't find on your LinkedIn profile.
My children dancing Latin American music in the kitchen.
I can definitely not find this on your LinkedIn profile. What about you? How do you feel about
It is very funny to see life and discover the miracles that you don't know that will happen, that you hope that things will happen and you cannot change, and still they happen in a more harmonious and beautiful way than you expected. I never told my children that they should like this music or the other music, or that I never told them to be happy. You dream that they could be happy, but you cannot control reality, and you can just look at the miracles of reality. It is so easy to get dissuaded by, oh my God, it's so dangerous out there, everything is going wrong, and it's just so easy to be there. It takes a little bit more effort to realize, to notice the good things in life. So.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people are having a lot of expectations, and it's something that usually we kind of like learn to do. Like you are having exams, get ready for the exams, or you need to apply for this job, get ready for an interview, or it will be like the economic growth, or maybe it will be like something COVID will be happening, some pandemic or whatever. You have to be prepared. And then I remember, this interviews like long time ago. I don't know if it's going on right now because I was running like business for already 10 years and I have no idea how does it feel being on the interview. But I remember back then they were asking you like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or where do you see yourself in 10? I'm like, I have no idea where I am seeing myself in 5 years. Life is running so fast. And exactly, it's like when you are having these expectations, it might be so hard to face the reality if you don't match those expectations. Because like, yeah, as you've said, life is changing, life is happening. And I'm curious, like what is like one story from your personal life when you had some expectations but things kind of went wrong, but they were even better than you expected.
God, so many times has happened that. Yeah, I guess that's interesting. I'm a business owner for almost 2 decades. It's a bit. I have an MBA. I was a corporate executive. So in the middle of the career as a business coach, as a coach for women, I thought, well, that makes sense. MBA, business. Oh, yeah, I should be a business coach. Yeah, I should be a business coach. It makes sense in my brain, sense. And I created something very similar to the Ripple community of women, but they were really interested in doing setting a business. And I was in this meeting talking to them about how to use Facebook ads. People were asking me again the same question and again the same question, and I was growing angry, desperate. The, I explained it 20 times. I cannot do this again. I hate my customers. I feel frustrated. I want to run out of here. And that same afternoon, I had a meeting with my own coach, serendipitous. It was the very same subject. She was explaining Facebook ads, and people were having the same reaction. But I don't understand this, and she had explained it before. And you know what was her reaction? No worry, hey, I can explain it 20 times. I'm very happy to do it. And for me, that was a big realization that I was not a business coach. Not because of the experience, not because of the titles, but because of what makes me happy, what gives me frustration, or what gives me joy. And that was really quite something because I had to dismantle that business. And I had to open myself to who do I think I am, to talk about happiness, to talk about love. And how can I create a business that is about that, about life? Can I make money with that? That's just insane. Will anybody pay me for that? And now, years afterwards, because that happens around 2020, years afterwards, it's been so beautiful, this to see families blooming because of that transformation. Divorces prevented, babies being born, women falling in love. It really upsets as well. That was also good, because when sometimes it's important to stop things. So yeah, to have frustration, to have failure, it has proven to me it's a great gift, really a great gift. When you feel that things are not working, because of what you expected, because it's what it makes sense in your mind. It is, if you want it to be, it could be a great liberation. And of course, the question is not because I don't want to be a business coach in that situation, because of what I don't want. Yes, of course, it brings you to the what do I do now? What makes me happy? And how there I am to desire to be happy. The divorce story. Okay, I'm not okay with this relationship. Yeah, okay, I divorced this person. Then what next? Failure, frustration is information. It's information that you have, the decisions that you have taken in the past had brought you to a situation where you don't want to. So what we need to do is to observe ourselves. What were those decisions and what are new decisions that you can be? Because not necessarily it means that you need to divorce. Maybe you need to have a conversation. Not necessarily means that you need to close your business. Maybe you need to create a different product. Radical change not necessarily means to root yourself out from the life that you created. That sometimes it could be, but sometimes it's not necessary. That's important to be said.
I feel like people are always searching for the actionable plan or some steps to take, like 5 steps plan on how to be happy in life, or 10 steps plan on how to change your job or whatever. And then there is no one size fits all. And it's the hardest part that everyone will have their personal journey. And even it might be a very similar person who is doing practically the same things as you are doing, who are having the same family situation as you are having, and still you are totally different. There is no two people who are alike, who are like fully alike. And I'm when I'm listening to some business podcasts or entrepreneurs giving advice, or even like this well-being things and stuff, it's always very good to be aware of is out there, of what are other people experiences, but you have to come up with your own. And I feel like it's the hardest part. It's the hardest part when you need to kind of like consume other humans experiences, then digest what do you need, and then to take your own path. So you went from high tech executive, having MBA and all these things. So I'm curious, how did you feel moving from this journey into the transformational coach journey?
Yeah, I just couldn't look at myself, couldn't see the future of my life continuing that way. It happened with a coach, I had no idea. I mean, if you ask me, how are you doing at that point? My answer will be fine because there was no problem. From Monday to Friday, I had this job that was okay. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will party, I will travel, I will buy the next dress and buy the next bottle of champagne or expensive wine. I was becoming an alcoholic. It was, but I was fine. And a friend of mine uh, had a different experience in life. She was already an entrepreneur and she was feeling that she needed to change. So she wanted to go to an event, a workshop with a coach. And she brought me, Jay, come. It's, just because you and me, well, like I didn't sign because of the marketing or the title or because I felt any need. Just she brought me. And this coach has asked two questions, many powerful questions, but this one really floored me. First, she asked, what are the things that you love doing? And the things that I love doing is art. This is my painting.
Nice.
All my house is full of flowers and my paintings, and I, I do so many things that are representation of beauty. I love writing my book. I love public speaking. I'm doing it right now. So I put a list of those things. I love cooking. I love painting. I love flowers. I love. And then she asked, be honest and say how many hours during the last week you did these things and calculate the percentage of how big that is in your life. The percentage was 2%.
Wow.
At that time, I worked a fantastic job. I had a fantastic job. I worked for the European Space Agency. My boss was the most honest man in the world. I admire and adore that man. But it was not a fit. It was not a fit. And but so it was very clear what I don't want and what I do want. And the other thing is that I like to talk about what's important. What's important? What is meaningful? I have always been bored. That's the reason why I cannot be a business coach in the traditional sense of tell me about profit and loss and let's multiply the product and what is in the what is minimum viable product and the features, and I just fall asleep with that. Tell me about what gives you goosebumps. Tell me about what makes you cry. Tell me about why you love your husband. Tell me about what you will die for. Tell me about what you will live for. Those are things that make me really excited. So then I discovered coaching, and I went and embraced it. And it's been almost 2 decades. I've been many times about to close the practice because, in COVID, several big members of my family, my mother, my father, my father-in-law, passed. So I was really into family.
Yeah.
But I can't keep coming back to it. It just keeps calling me. And I just keep renewing and keep finding ways and keep loving it. The thing that I have created is I call it the ripple, because I think this is their recipe that has made everything for me. You said, I mean, we cannot talk in half an hour about all your life. Yeah, we cannot. Uh, I had, quite a bit of trauma in childhood. When I was 14, I almost died because anorexia. Lots of stuff. And the thing that has healed me all the time, the thing that allowed me to grow the business to where I am, the thing that allowed me to be a mom as I am, to be with the same guy, except the parent, the father of my children, is the same thing, is being present in the moment, to notice, to do what you are doing, to be where you are. So then you can feel what is needed at that moment. What do you need? Do you need to take action? You need to be silent. Do you need to act? Do you actually should not act? You refrain yourself from taking action, because sometimes sometimes you help more when you don't help. Should you tie the shoelaces of your child? Should you? Yeah, maybe not. Should you give a beer to your husband? Yes. Because it is circumstantial. Life is constantly circumstantial.
Yeah, sometimes there is this feeling that yes, action and inaction is also action, and it feels really hard to kind of like sometimes stop yourself from doing things, or not stop yourself, or maybe start acting. I feel like this inner fight, sometimes in your mind, like, should I do it or shouldn't? Like, do I do it or not? I feel like it's something that is kind of like playing tricks in human minds. And the more book I read, the more I listen to other podcasts, the more I talk to people. It's once again, people are different people, and everyone has their own journey, and it's close to impossible to find just one way to be right. Just I have to take action all the time, or I have to just live my life and see what the universe has for me. So I feel like it's always kind of like this inner battle. Should I do it or should not? So I'm curious, how do you personally choose? Should you take action or should you just stay still? How do you feel it?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is the reason why we're here. Well, you have read things about me. I'm a very spiritual person, and the past years I have been studying astrology. So everything is about the dance between the free will and destiny. And my point of view is that I believe that in the past we were in the big field of consciousness and we were basically bored there being God and we were invited to have a human experience. Hey, do you want to come have a human experience? Yes. But there is a thing. You choose everything. You choose your mom, your dad, the country where you will be born, your hair, everything. But you will forget that you are God.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
said, yeah, sure. No, no. I mean, if I get to experience, yeah, I get to experience to be, to fall in love like that. If I get to experience to speak like that, if I get to, yo, I do it. So we were really enthusiastic to do that. And now we are here feeling the rain, feeling the heartbreak, feeling the bankruptcy. And we think that is horrible, but it was what we wanted to feel. And the way I see it is that you and me are God remembering that we are God. And we have forgotten our power. We have forgotten the power of our words. We have forgotten the powers of our silence. We have forgotten who we really are, the power of our magnetic field. We have
Yeah.
forgotten our divinity. Now is the time, now, particularly now, because everything that is happening, just open the news, all the structures are collapsing. All the structures are collapsing. And structures are collapsing maybe in your personal life. And what we need to do is to remember that divinity within and connecting to the divinity, to the big field of consciousness. Like if we believe that we are an antenna, our body is an antenna, we connect to the field and then we get the best advice that we have circumstantially. Because now, historically, we cannot have specific recipes. All the specific recipes, all the frameworks that we were given before, we have we can I call it confidently say that they didn't work because they were, very specific. You take step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it worked for me, it will work for you. No, now we need to dance. The metaphor is dancing, not fighting and not conquering, but is dancing, dancing to the music of reality and being present to what is the dance. What is the dance? The dance is, it is raining. Do I don't have an umbrella? What I'm going to do is to be in the rain in the best possible way. It is my belief that it comes a very big storm in reality, and we are not going to avoid the storms that are coming. We are needing to remember our power to go through the storm. And through the storm is this remembering two things, and this is really important for changing reality. The fundamental is that you modify your concept of who you think you are and your concept of what the world is. When you change the concept of you from a victim, from a ever powerful, invulnerable person to that who is remembering that is having a human experience, it's very different how you act. And the second point is to create a concept in your mind and heart that the universe is benevolent. So that you are benevolent, that the tree is benevolent, that the car is benevolent, everything is benevolent. Even the man with a bomb, then you're thinking he's in fear. He's in fear. The man with the gun, he's in fear. So I think I see it as part of the whole transformation of the world. So these two things. Now let me talk more about it is not accurate what I said about the evil person. The evil person. How can we see it as benevolent? My ex-boyfriend, he told me one day, I don't love you. You deserve somebody who does love you. At that point, I saw him as the bad guy. I saw him as a man with the bomb. But I am so grateful now.
Yeah.
He destroyed a relationship because it was not my path. And he brought me to a completely different reality. So the things that happen to us that look like great disappointments, like great destructions, might be the great blessings in our life. The reason why I left that job was because there was a big downsizing. So I was downsized. Oh my God, how horrible. Well, it changed my life. It was great. This boyfriend who split with me, it was great. The passing of my father, my mother, my mother-in-law, it was painful, 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 painful. It took me years, and I think grief is something very difficult to describe. Of course, I still remember them off. In a way, it was one of the best things that happened to me because it made me reconnect with them in a different way. It made me take the torch of the family. Now I'm the next generation. So the things that we label in the universe and in the world as wrong, what if we label them as benevolent, including, what I'm saying, the passing of my parents? How could you do that? Well, if you see these as you are God, remembering that you are God. And this is my method. It is one step, but it's repeated one step for what I see in reality with all what I have been studying it of astrology. I am fascinated by it, and the MBA studies makes me fascinated about the geopolitics. I see that everything was centralized, and now we go to the world of decentralized. And decentralized will go into decentralized so to such an extent that you will be this, but I will
Mm.
be the center, and my child will be the center, and the neighbor will be the center. Each one of us are going to be, we need to be authentically, individually who we are. And this will allow us to have compassion for the other. This will allow us to create communities because if I want to be the leader, then I'm not part of the community. My perception of the future is grassroots.
Mm.
Is what you have been doing, just having conversations with people. And this is also another representation of the dance between who you are and who I am. And it's not a fight, and it's not trying to prove who's superior. And I see that as a future and the future of peace.
You reminded me two humans that I had heard of quotes from. First was Matthew McConaughey, who told a story that he was like in the movie, and then the director came to him and like, Matthew, you are right, but there is more than one way to be right. And it reminded me like what you were telling me, that everyone is kind of like right in their own way. And if you are meeting someone and you don't like what they say, you don't like their approach, and you cannot try to change them, you can't change them. So you can fight with them. Yes, maybe you can suppress them at some moment. Maybe you can be like louder than they are, and they will tell you that they kind of agree with you, but they still be disagreeing with you on the inside. And it's like, it's people are different people, and you have to just deal with it. And the second quote that I reminded me, like, by Bruce Lee, be water, my friend.
Exactly.
So coming to this decentralization part, I feel like it's very important to be flexible. It's very important to, as you've said, having these humans conversations without trying to be right, but more in a way of finding what connects you, what brings your relationships to the next level, what makes you talk to each other. Why should you? And it's okay if you don't have to. It's okay if you don't have nothing in common. If you understand that you are totally opposite people, just go to your sides and find another person and talk to another person. Because out of like millions and billions of people in the world, you can connect with like that just in a second, and it will be someone you cannot connect no matter how hard you try. And I feel like that's this decentralization, and then this flexibility part, that kind of like people need to understand that if something is not going right in your life right now, it's okay. Just think about it, just deal with it, just get ready, do something else, try something else. Or as you've said, you don't have to do it like quick, like very, very huge pivot. You can just try some small things on top of what you are doing. Just stop doing one thing, start doing another thing, and then step by step by step by step, you are moving to the next level. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And let me say something to that. What we see right now is that the world of many people is collapsing. They have been fired. They have, they don't like who they are. There's like very big collapses of personal stories, and they don't know what to do next. So I want you to think of yourself like if you were in a cocoon or like you are a seed. It feels really dark in the cocoon. It feels really dark to be a seed, but you are planted and there is water. There is a lot of hope. And I really want you, if you are suffering, if your personal world is collapsing, if the things that used to work are not working, to think that there is hope, to think that everything that you are now, the cocoon, both things, the larva in the cocoon and the seed in the soil are eating themselves. So the what is happening to many of us right now is that we need to go and review what happened in the past and learn to digest that, learn to consume that past to create this nourishment for the plant or for the butterfly that you are going to become. And don't see this process as bad, this process of darkness. It is not bad. And you don't have to immediately know the answer. Oh, exactly, I'm going to change my business this way. Exactly, I'm going to move to this place. You don't need to know immediately. You need to digest what happened to you. And this could take time. And sometimes it takes the time of, the time that it takes to learn to hear the wind, learn to smell the sea. That time that will allow you to become, to bloom, and to become that butterfly. Maybe some people need to know that now.
Yeah. You reminded me one story. I was walking in the park after the storm. So it was a huge wind and like some trees were falling and I were like going through this fallen tree. It was a huge tree, like very, very, I don't know how many years, like 50, 60, maybe even 100 years. So it was a really big tree and it fell down. And it feels like it's dead. But like then in 2 months, as I see there is new tree, like the smaller parts starting to grow from its roots. So it's kind of like big part is fallen and the new part is still growing. So I feel like it's very similar in human life. Sometimes even when you feel that you are going through some turmoil in your life and it feels like you are falling as this tree, you still have your roots and you still will have something growing out of these roots and you kind of like have to let the space for this new part. And you have this over like 20 years of experience of like working in the coaching and practice, and then have a lot of like personal human experience like from your side. And I'm curious if you could go back and give your teenage self one human advice or about life or business, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, wow, so beautiful. Well, first I want to tell you that the tree thing, it healed me. When I was feeling really terrible, that I was being fired and I was going to start something new and I was scared, I started painting trees. So painting trees was really healing. And I was 14 years old and I had anorexia. I had a near-death experience. And when I saw the light told me, it is not your time. You have a lot to do. So if I could see that girl today, if I could get into her ear, will tell her that the future looks bright, that she has the wisdom to identify what is that needs to be done, and she has the strength to do it. I would love to tell her that. Yeah. And maybe this is the thing that everybody needs to hear now, because I think that message that my 14-year self heard is the message that everybody has. You know, we didn't die. We woke
Yeah.
up from yesterday that we were sleeping, and the message is the same. You still are here alive because you have a lot to do. And what on earth is that? Well, you don't know, but you will be informed. And I don't know. I will be informed. How are we going to be informed? Pay attention. Pay attention. What is that? Just pay attention. I am they call it the class mother, the one in the class of my daughter that organizes drinks, that talks to people. And I went to a book presentation of the school, and they tell the story of the school during the Second World War, because this school is more than 100 years old. I was reading the book, and in the book, they tell all these stories of then and there,
Hmm.
how the kids, the Jewish kids, were sent to concentration camps. And they tell the story in such a way that, they go to a picnic, and they woke up, and the bicycle, it's so, you feel that as if you were you. And this book moved me so much that I noticed that in a way I'm in the same circumstance right now. In a way, you're in the same circumstance right now. You go to a picnic, you go on a bike, you talk to a person, and you have the dangers of the world. What about noticing that this is a lot to do? Is not a business plan. It is about being present for the person that is in front of you, and you don't know the historical ramifications of you taking a courageous action in the moment. So I think the light, when I was 14 years old, told me you have a lot to do and it's not your time. It's talking to us every single day. And it could be really tiny. Today is the drinks of that group, and a lady talked to me that a friend of hers died,
Hmm.
and I cannot change that person died, but I can have a coffee with this lady.
Yeah.
Maybe you cannot change some things of reality, but you can change some other things of reality. So that's what the future looks bright, dear 14 years old.
You reminded me of a friend who told me like when he has some dark moments in his life, he kind of like reminds himself like, hey, you've survived all these years till this moment of now, and you are still surviving. You will survive in other moment. Just keep going, just keep doing, And also there is this saying that the night is the darkest before the dawn. So it's like I don't know. It's I feel like it's also in the world in the even if we are talking about seasons or if we are talking about seeds that are keep like trees that are dying and then they are spreading their seeds and new trees are growing. I feel like it's always this constant reborn cycle, kind of like a phoenix cycle, like sometimes I feel like sometimes you have to burn to ashes to kind of like rise up from it as a newborn phoenix. But you never know. You never know. And Blanca, I really wish to have the sky as the limit to our conversation, but time is the limit. So the final question: what is one thing that you are really good at that no one knows that you are really good at?
Oh, I have been noticing that the thing that I'm really good at, because I'm a coach, I talk to people, but the thing that I haven't been putting so much in the spotlight is what I've been talking about, this beauty thing. So I want to do more of that. I want to paint more, to design more, to speak more with my hands,
Hmm.
3D. Well, maybe 3D. Yeah, I'm not of the sculpture. I have made a one sculpture, but I'm more of paintings and colors, and I want to do that.
Hmm.
I feel that I haven't expressed myself enough in the subject of art. I think something is being born there. Yeah.
And what is the best and easiest way to connect with you?
BlancaVergara.com. I hope that you put it below. So there you have all the links everywhere where I am in social media as well.
And last but not least, name two people I should have this podcast conversation with.
Ooh, I think you already have Nicolene, which I love. Margarita Lauri, you need to have her. Her family name escapes me, but I will send you her contacts of Jennifer. Jennifer is doing something incredible in the world of reducing trash in the world. So
Hmm.
that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
God, I forget her family name. Okay.
I will ask you. You will send it afterwards. And yeah, Blanca, we had such a diverse conversation in this like very small amount of time, like from near death experiences to talking about the divinity inside of us and like connecting this divine part with human part and moving from our current challenges in this current world and like kind of overgoing like overseeing them from the bigger point, from the helicopter view, and like seeing that it's really not that bad if you frame it that way. And thank you so much for sharing such an honest personal experience. And you also made me think a lot about this stuff. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, see you in the business world. And thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions about how the community can help you reach and overcome your business goals faster, let's connect on LinkedIn and talk about it. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.